Disney's D23 EXPO is the biggest Disney fan event in the world, and this year is going to be unlike any other. Hello everybody, welcome. Disney has some big news to share at this year's event, but after all the announcements they made at the last D23 EXPO, the question is, how much gas do they have left in the tank for this year? Disney's D23 EXPO 2026 is sure to be one for the books, and will likely be talked about for years to come. This year's event is on August 14th through the 16th of 2026 in Anaheim, California. And the Disney Experiences Showcase is one of the most anticipated portions of the event. This is where Disney shares all the updates and all the news on their Disney parks, resorts, and cruises around the world. And this event happens every 2 years, alternating with Disney's Destination D23, which happens at Walt Disney World. The problem with this year's event is that expectations, anticipation, I think is higher than it's ever been before. Because 2 years ago at the D23 EXPO, Disney came out swinging. Some of the biggest and craziest announcements happened at that year's event. Disney announced a $60 billion investment in their company, $30 billion of that for their theme parks division around the world. So when it came to Destination D23 the very next year at Walt Disney World, we had equally high expectations that we were going to get blown out of the water again. However, for the first time in forever, they shocked everybody and said there is going to be no Disney Parks and Experiences panel at Destination D23, which the parks panel is where we usually get all these updates about the things that are happening at the theme parks, and they announced they weren't having it that year. So pretty much everybody was completely shocked. After 2024's D23 EXPO blowing expectations, and then in 2025 at Destination, they were just like, yeah, not gonna have it. People were totally confused. Now, Destination D23, we don't typically get like the huge announcements that you get at the D23 EXPO, but we usually get some updates and some pretty cool little nuggets and things to add that are in addition to what we heard the previous year. Instead, last year at Destination, they just kind of sprinkled in the updates throughout the entire event instead of having like a specified parks panel. And overall, I feel like that was pretty underwhelming. So now we're all wondering, for this year's D23 EXPO, what's going to be announced? Is it going to be another big banger year like in 2024? Also, this year will be the first time that Josh D'Amaro is going to be helming the Disney company as the new CEO, taking over for Bob Iger. So I think expectations for him putting on this event, he's done this event before as the head of the Disney Parks and Experiences. He's always sort of led that, but now this is the first time with him at the helm of the entire company. And I think Josh is gonna want this to be a big, crazy, awesome announcement year. I don't think he's gonna want to get booed at any portion of the show. This has happened in the past. Josh has been booed on the stage in prior years because of some unpopular decisions that they were making. So I definitely don't think he wants that to happen this year. So with that, let's jump into what we know is going to be announced here this year at D23 and some of the things that we're expecting to hear. Let's start out with the biggest. We got to start Magic Kingdom. We're definitely going to get some updates on Piston Peak. That thing is moving really quickly. I've been out at the site and seen a lot of construction happening. Number one, I think we're going to get an update on the off-road rally race attraction. I think that's pretty much a shoo-in. Hopefully, we're going to be getting some more details about the main attraction, the e-ticket attraction in that area of the park. Possibly a name for the attraction. We've just been referring to it as an off-road rally race, very similar to Radiator Springs Racers and Test Track. Hoping to get some additional details on the vehicles, maybe even a showcase of one of the vehicles itself. I'm thinking we might get some animatronics reveals for this particular event, maybe even some additional test footage, new concept art, and possibly even the track layout. I'm really thinking we're going to get a little bit more detail on the actual ride system itself, and if it is in fact going to be basically an upgraded version of Radiator Springs Racers, which is the same system for Test Track, essentially on a track, not a trackless ride system at all. I think it's going to be on track but it's going to have vehicles that have shocks and struts in them, so it'll have the effect of being able to go across knobby terrain. I also think we're going to get an update on the second attraction in that area. I think we're going to find out maybe the name of the second attraction and what it's really going to be. I've been saying it looks like it's going to be something very similar to Mater's Junkyard Jamboree or Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters that exists out there in Disney's California Adventure in the Cars area. From what I can see in the concept art, that's what it looks like, but I'm hoping we get some more information about that second attraction. Moving on over next door to Villains Land, I'm hoping that we get an announcement on the name of the Villains Land, or if we're just going to keep calling it Villains Land, I think we might get a name for this area, and we're definitely going to get some new concept art. But I think the big thing that I'm hoping for in this year's announcement is some additional details on the attractions that are going to be there. There's been so much talk and discussion and speculation about the attractions and even the theming of them based on the concept art. There's been chatter about a dark ride and a roller coaster, and I still think those two big attractions are in the cards, but there's been debate about what the theming for those is going to be. Originally a Maleficent roller coaster, and we didn't know what the dark ride was going to be themed after. Later on, we were hearing potentially Emperor's New Groove for the roller coaster, which is a big curveball and a change-up, and then maybe Maleficent rolling over into the dark ride space. So I'm hoping that we get some clarity around those two big e-ticket items and what they're really going to be from a theming perspective. The next thing I'm hoping for an update on is Tomorrowland. There was supposed to be a large Tomorrowland reimagining that was going to happen a few years back, where they were going to completely transform Tomorrowland and try to bring it into the future instead of this like retro steampunk version that was starting to emerge in the 90s. We know that that sort of complete reimagining got canceled, and they've basically been piecemealing this thing together. Things like the Tron update, the reimagining of Buzz Lightyear, the Carousel of Progress, which leads me to, I'm hoping we get additional details around Carousel of Progress, maybe a little bit of additional details and some additional concept art for the transformation that started there. I did an entire video on the Tomorrowland transformation that's happening there, so I'll link to that below. You're going to want to check it out. It goes into all the details of Tomorrowland and what's going to be coming over the next few years and how they're transforming it. But I'm hoping to get some details on some of the elements that I think are going to be changing over there. One of the big ones I'm hoping to get news on, because I keep hearing more and more rumors about it, which is the Space Mountain. Space Mountain has been due for a refurb for several years now. It was originally supposed to go through an entire refurb. That got put on hold, and we haven't heard a lot since. I'm hearing now that Big Thunder Mountain is done, Space Mountain is now on the block to be addressed. And there's a lot of chatter and speculation around, is it going to be a complete transformation and reimagining, something similar to what they're doing over in Tokyo Disneyland, or is it going to just be a simple refresh and refurb? I don't know the answer, but I'm hoping that this gets talked about in the expo. A couple of other things, Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, I think we might get an update on whether that attraction is going to get closed. With Monsters Inc. Land coming and the new show that's going to be going in there, I think Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, I think that is on the chopping block. I don't think it's long for this world. I think they're going to do something else with that space. We might only just get an announcement that it's closing with no real update on what's going to be replacing it, but I'm hoping we hear something about that. I've been hearing rumors that they might bring a Stitch type attraction back to Stitch's Great Escape, which is the old alien extraterrestrial attraction. That thing is it's basically been sat empty for years, and it is prime real estate there. I'm hoping that they give us an update on what's going to be going in that space. And find out what are they going to do there. And the last thing is, which I don't know if we're going to hear anything about, but I think they really do need to address very soon, is Tomorrowland Speedway. What's going on with that? Is it going to be refurbed, or is it going to be put into some other attraction, made into some other space? I'm hoping for the new attraction, not a refurb, because I think that Tomorrowland Speedway needs to go. Personally, I think it needs to go. It's prime real estate. Get rid of it. Do something different in that space. All right, let's talk Animal Kingdom. Obviously, Tropical Americas. That's the big one. I've already announced that. But I think we're going to get some updates on the new Encanto ride there. That thing is going up super fast, but all we really have is light details and concept art. I think we're going to get some additional concept art. I'm hoping that we see some animatronics of what's going to be going on in that area and that particular dark ride. And I think they maybe are going to announce details on the ride vehicle system and what type of attraction it's going to be. It definitely looks like a trackless attraction of some kind, similar to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, but it also does have cues that it might be some sort of omnimover as well. We're gonna get an update on the Indiana Jones attraction replacing Dinosaur. I think that's definitely guaranteed. I think we're gonna get some additional concept art, maybe some more scenes, because the details about that attraction, it's a new story for Indiana Jones. It's not the familiar story of the first couple of movies. It is a new variation, so they haven't given us really any details on that attraction. It's not going to be a copy and paste of what's over in Disneyland. I hope we get some additional concept art and details on what this thing is going to look like. And the last thing about Tropical Americas is what's the restaurant. I'm hoping that we get some additional information on the restaurant that's going to be replacing Restaurantosaurus. Is it going to be like a Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar type experience, or is it going to be something more related to Encanto? I don't know, but I'm hoping we'll get some details on that. But the big thing that I think we might hear something about is maybe a new nighttime show for Animal Kingdom. I think with Tropical America is going to be opening in this brand new area of the park, and it's going to draw a lot of people into that area. I think they're going to want to keep Animal Kingdom open later. I think they're going to want to maybe keep it open until 9 p.m., bring back Animal Kingdom in the evening hours. I think there will be enough demand for that park with this new area opening, and I think they're going to want to capitalize that and bring some sort of new nighttime show like a Rivers of Light back to the park, or some sort of Kite Tales type thing, either a daytime or nighttime spectacular. It's definitely needed. They need to keep that park open later. Having Pandora, the world of Avatar, as beautiful as it looks, and no way to really see it in the evening hours, is just a complete fail, in my opinion, for Disney. So I think they're going to want to try to use Tropical America's coming back to do some sort of nighttime show and fix the problems of that park. All right, let's talk Hollywood Studios. The big thing on everyone's mind is going to be Monsters, Inc., Monstropolis. We're definitely going to get some additional details on the roller coaster there. I'm hoping we get some new scenes, some new updates on what characters are going to be represented in this roller coaster, what is the story that's driving it behind the scenes, maybe even get a sneak peek at some of the cool animatronics that they're planning, like maybe a Billy Crystal voiced animatronic of Mike Wazowski, maybe a John Goodman voiced animatronic of Sully. I think we're gonna maybe get something around the animatronics. That would be awesome. Hopefully a more in-depth look at the ride vehicle system itself, more than what we've already seen. But the big one we're definitely gonna get information on is the new show coming to the Glob there, the new show building replacing Muppets. They've already teased that in prior announcements. They've given us the newspaper. They've talked specifically about the show being revealed on August 15th. We're definitely going to get some details on what that show is, and hopefully we get a little bit of an indicator on if it's going to be a worthy successor to Muppet Vision 3D. But the other big one I really want to know about, I'm less interested in the Harryhausen's. I want to know more about what's going in quick service wise. I've been predicting it's going to be something like Minions Cafe or the Super Nintendo World's Toadstool Cafe, something very heavily thematic with the themed foods. I'm hoping we get something like that, Monsters, Inc., and it becomes the de facto quick service restaurant in the park. I'm thinking we're going to get maybe some details on that restaurant. All right, Epcot. Let's talk about some of the albatrosses in the room. Number one at Epcot, the central hub area, the park planter, right there in front of Spaceship, well, I should say in the rear of Spaceship Earth, in the reimagined area there with the Walt Disney statue. A lot of people have complained about the planter, the little garden there with the lights that do not work. It's really kind of an eyesore. It's basically a massive fumble, in my opinion. There's a lot of beautiful things around that, but I did a video not too long ago where I talked about a rumor of a smaller Fountain of Nations type fountain possibly returning instead of that garden area that's there. And that was a rumor that I heard coming inside from Disney. Could we get an announcement about maybe a smaller fountain returning to that space? I would definitely be excited for that. I think the garden is a bust. I'd love to see water return to that. If it could be some sort of miniature Fountain of Nations, I'd be all for it. Will we get an update on Journey into Imagination with Figment? We've been talking for a decade now about the possibility of a reimagining there. It probably is in need of a refurb, a reimagining of it, if you will. And so this might be the year. Probably not, but we're gonna cross our fingers and say, hopefully we get some news on if they're going to do something for Figment, because there's really not a lot of things happening at Epcot. This might be the best time to do something because there's not a lot of other things happening. And the last thing is the biggest albatross for Epcot is the Wonders of Life Pavilion. What's going on with that? It was supposed to be converted into the Play Pavilion prior to COVID. It was part of a big expansion of the reimagining. The whole thing got killed because there was a lot. It was supposed to be like a lot of sensory and touch interactive type things, which was somewhat frowned upon post-COVID. And so I think they canceled it, and I think they're reimagining what they're going to do with that space. I'm hoping we get an update this year's Expo on whether or not they're just going to demo the whole thing and replace it with something brand new, or they're just going to gut it and do something different with it. The leading indicator, if they just retheme it right now, is Inside Out is the leader, but I don't really have any idea what they could do. Let's talk really quickly Disneyland. We're going to get an update on the Coco attraction, the new water ride, the Pirates of the Caribbean style type attraction that's coming to Disneyland. Hopefully we get some new concept art, some new scenes, some new details, maybe some animatronics of hopefully Miguel and Dante. That would be really cool. Moving right next door to Disney California Adventure, the big one is the World of Avatar. This has been planned, it's been announced, they've shown us the concept art. There will be one attraction there. Details on that attraction are fairly light. It's unfortunately replacing a big portion of the current park where Mike and Sully to the Rescue, the Monsters Inc. attraction is, which I really enjoy that attraction, so I'm sad to see it go. However, there's been rumor that Avatar might actually now kind of be falling to the wayside, and with Zootopia going crazy at the box office, they might say forget Avatar, let's put in a Zootopia area. I don't know that I see that happening, but that's the rumor that's going around, so it could be possible that they throw us a curveball at this D23 Expo and say, you know what? Actually, Avatar, we're not doing that anymore. Just kidding, it's now Zootopia. So we'll find out. Avengers Infinity Defense there, coming over to DCA. We're gonna get an update, hopefully, I think on the timeline, like what's the actual opening day going to be. Now let's talk about hotels. Disney's Lakeshore Lodge, that's the large Disney Vacation Club resort that's coming right next door to Fort Wilderness. I think they're going to announce an opening date for that hotel. We know it's going to be in 2027 sometime, but maybe we get a specific date, a few more details on the resort itself. As far as the parks around the world, I think we're going to get a few more updates, things like an update on the Lion King attraction, the Space Mountain coming to Tokyo Disneyland, and an update on the Spider-Man attraction. But the big question I think is going to be is, are we going to get an update on the Disney Abu Dhabi park or not? We're still waiting for additional details. They announced it. We haven't heard much since. So I'm wondering if they're going to get another announcement or if it's going to be crickets on that one. And the last thing is Disney Cruise Line. We've got 4 new ships coming. We know one ship for sure. That's the Disney Believe coming out in 2027, but there are 3 additional ships going to be launching 2029, 2030, and 2031. Maybe we'll get some name drops on those ships, a little bit more details on the ships themselves. And that is the bulk of, I think, the updates we're going to get this year. A lot of stuff. I think a lot of updates on things. Not a ton of new things that we're not aware of coming this year. I cannot wait. Are you excited as I am to see this thing? I think it's going to be an awesome year. Lots of updates, tons of things happening. I hope you're as excited as I am. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to put down in the comments what you think. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share till I see you next time. Noble way is the easy way. Bye-bye, everybody.